Hello everyone, my name is Forbidian and you're watching a World of Tanks replay analysis. This game I'm playing a Hellcat on Redshire and we end up losing this game. And so I'm bringing you this replay for, I guess, two main reasons. The first one is that I like to watch my losses a lot. I mean, it's not as fun to watch a loss as it is to watch a win, but you can learn a lot more from a loss than a win. You know, in a loss, those are the times when your mistakes cost you. Those are the times when they have consequences, and you know those are the times when the difference between winning and losing is paper thin. In a win, it's a lot easier to look at a mistake and not care about it because it didn't matter in the end. So anyway, I think you can learn a lot more from losses than wins. And then the second reason is kind of just a rant about the player base. There's a lot of rage in this game. There's a lot of rage. A lot of people rage to teammates or matchmaking or whatever. When they lose, and it's not really the attitude that I have. I think I have a pretty good attitude when it comes to team games. Is like, you're not going to see these people again. Being mad at them, it doesn't matter. What you should be doing is you should be figuring out what you could have done. Like say you play this exact same game, you should not lose 2 games in a row. You should be able to figure out what you could have done differently. You should be able to figure out, look at some mistakes you made and then get better every single game that you play. If you're looking at a game and you just see there's no possible way you could have won, try to be a little bit more critical about it, about your own play. I mean, it's a lot easier there's 14 other people on the team, so surely somebody could have played better, and it's really easy to just look, well, there's 14 other players on the team, why didn't they carry me? But that attitude only gets you a 48% win rate. That's the regular attitude. If you want to get better than that, if you want to be a better player, you have to look and figure out what you could have done, to carry the game. And so in this game, I definitely could have played a lot better. This game, my team had a winning position, and I threw it away with some mistakes. Anyway, I'm going to show you the start of this. I take a really big risk. I'm running up here, and I see I think I can find a bush and a rock. I don't know this map perfectly. Or hold on, I'll talk about the theory for why I'm going up here. Basically, if you're in the center of the map, you have vision over the entire map. You have vision of this valley, you have vision of this valley. It's really strong for your team's map control if you can be up here. You can really control every flank, get your team's guns working. Really, if you can be up here and you can't be forced out, it's a really easy win for your team. But I don't know this map perfectly, and I didn't know a good spot to be. I thought I could wing one and find one on the way, but I'm not able to find one. By the time I get up here, I see there's no bush by the side of this rock. I thought there was, actually, and so I was kind of in a tough spot. I decided to roll the dice. I took a risk. I'm going to pop out here. I'm going to see if I can get my camo net up before I get spotted. And unfortunately, it's Type 58. He spots me almost immediately. So I wasn't able to get my camo net up. I knew 100% I was spotted. So I made the best of a bad situation, and I just took a shot off. To at least do a little bit of damage. But I knew I was going to get rigged. I thought I was going to die, actually. But only the KV-1S was ready to shoot at me. So yeah, major props to that KV-1S player. Like, he was ready for that shot, and that really chunked me. It put me in a bad position. He destabilized the scout on the enemy team, and that was really a strong shot for him to take. That was really good. Okay, so I'm really low, and I instantly rule out staying on top of the hill. It's really risky to be up there, and I couldn't find cover the first time, so it's pretty risky to be up here in the first place. And when I'm only one shot, I rule out being on top of the hill. Plan B was I was going to go over here in these bushes over here and then try to get lights on enemies entering the valley or entering the city. And I would get my team's guns going over there. And even though I'm low and I wouldn't really be able to contribute to the game, it's something I could do. I could just be here and prevent enemies from flanking my team. But unfortunately, I noticed my team is all retreating away from the side. So I make a good decision here. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to come back. And I have major props for all the players who are good at scouts. Like, it is really hard to scout because you need to find a place where you're safe, where you can see enemies, and where your team can shoot the enemies that you see. If you don't get all three of those, you're not doing anything. So the players who can consistently win playing scouts, like major props to them. Playing a Hellcat is super easy because you're a scout, plus you can be your own gun if you need to be. Okay, so I mean, because my team vacated this side, I have to run all the way back here. And then right now I'm just wasting my time staring at the corner of this ARLV-39. I know I can't take a shot, but it takes me a while to just keep my feet moving. That was a lot of wasted time. And then right here, I'm taking shots at the Churchill. Here's the third-person view. I'm taking shots at the Churchill, and I'm out in the open. The reason why I decided to stop out in the open was I figured my team kind of needed my gun, so I think it was a good decision to stop moving and start shooting. But I made a bad mechanical play. I really should be moving in between shots. Like, this is a theme for the rest of the game. I should be moving in between shots. I'd be in a much better position, and I'd be ready to keep shooting. Here's an important decision. I decided to change from the Churchill to the Su-85. And reasons for that. I guess, first of all, the Churchill is 3 shots to me. 475 at this range, I know that's 3 shots. Or I'd have to get extremely high rolls twice in a row, which is not likely. So this Churchill is 3 shots to me, whereas this Su-85 is comfortably, he's 2 shots. So being able to get an enemy tank off the board in 2 shots is much better than 3. Like, it's a big difference. Okay. Second reason, Su-85 has a bigger gun than the Churchill, so it's important to take big guns off the board. And then third reason, this Su-85 is a green player. And green players are generally pretty strong. At the time I shot this video, I was a green player as well. Now I've moved up a little bit. Now I'm dark green, which I'm proud of. But at the time he was the same level that I was. So it's important to take players who are strong off the board. And this Churchill's red, so he's not. Just based on that, I know this Su-85 is much more dangerous with his gun. So I make the decision to switch to the Su-85. He's tracked, so he's dead. And again, I should be moving in between shots. Now I'm running up here, and I'm in a bush. So again, this took me so much time. I could have been already in this bush before this whole fiasco happened, and I could have already been shooting at the T-34. But I wait for my camo net to come up, so I'm safe to take a shot. And now I have another decision. Do I want to shoot at the VK or the YAG? VK would have been a better shot. I figured that out in time, but the VK ran behind cover, so the YAG was the only open target, and so I shoot at the YAG. Okay, now I have an important decision coming up. Whoops. I just made it. I was deciding, a split-second decision, whether I should shoot the Type T-34 or not. And I decided to shoot him because he was probably going to detect me in a little bit anyway, and I thought my team needed my gun. So I thought I could just wipe out the Type T-34 and then focus on other targets and hopefully try to survive. I actually catch a major break here, though. You'll notice that I'm not spotted. Sixth Sense doesn't come up. And the reason why is because there's this mechanic in the game that rarely comes up, but it's important to note. Your detection, like the way spotting works, you only have a spotting check intermittently. It's not continuous. So enemies who are really close to you, you detect every like 0.1 seconds. And enemies that are really far away, you only check every 2 seconds. So that tank was kind of in the middle, 200 meters. But there's still a delay. Like maybe it's about a second. I don't know. Maybe half a second. But it's longer than the time it takes a bullet to go from my gun into his tank. So what happened was I shot, and like he had his scouting check. And then randomly, through sheer luck, after the scouting, almost immediately after the scouting check, I pulled the trigger, and then that blew his tank up before his next scouting check, so he wasn't able to detect me or report my location to the other tanks on his team. Anyway, that was a break. It's not something to count on, but it's something that comes up occasionally. If you're shooting a low hit point tank that's one shot, you can sometimes catch a break and not get spotted. I'm putting shots into the VK. To my credit, my team is putting damage out. Or to my team's credit, they're putting a lot of damage out. They're using the spots and getting damage down. So here is the major choke of the game. This is the huge choke. VK is at 266 hit points, so I couldn't kill him anyway. And I choose to reveal my position anyway by taking a shot. This is really stupid, and immediately. So I'm gonna show this mistake one more time. Again, I don't mean to get like too in detail about these mistakes, but again, this stuff is really important, and this was the difference between a win and a loss. Okay, there's the VK. He's at 266 hit points, so I can't kill him. What I should do is I should wait for my team to damage him more. Wait for him to get closer and line up a perfect, accurate shot to finish him off in one go. This way I wouldn't die. Instead, I take a really panicky shot. You can see it's not well aimed. I don't know where it bounces, either off his front or off his mantle. It would have bounced anywhere. I had to aim at the side, and I didn't. And also wouldn't have even killed him. So I had to rely on some luck that my team was able to get a shot in. But I don't know. If I landed the shot, I would have lived, I guess. But I would have been very lucky to survive that. What I should have done was waited until the damage was already in and then taken the shot. Okay, so why did that cost my team the game? Well, now the score is tied, and my team's all in this ball. They have map control here. They have map control of the center. They have map control of this side. They have control of everything, and my team is really not long for this world. My team ends up losing this game. And we lose by like 6 tanks, so it wasn't very close. But it was close in the sense that had I still been alive, say I'd been alive and I killed that VK, okay, now I would be in this perfect location. I would have map control over this side, vision control over here. My team has vision control over the spot, and we'd be up 9-7. So we'd be up 6 tanks to 8, or 8 tanks to 6, and I'd still be alive. I'd have map control over this whole area, and the fact that my team's in this ball, it doesn't really matter because we still have map control. Because I died, because I took that risk, took that shot, it was actually not even a risk, it was just stupid. Because they took that stupid shot and revealed my position prematurely, I got wiped out, and now my team is in a really bad spot. And we actually lost. So, anyway, this game, I hope it shed some light on the importance of a good deployment. If you're in a good spot, I could have had this destabilizing factor from the very start of the game. But then I think I also did a good job coming back here. I tried to drive over here, and then I realized my team was retreating, so I had to get line of sight where they had guns, and I came back here. So I think that was good. But then some mechanical mistakes, like I didn't get off as many shots as I could have. Certainly I could have got off at least an extra 2, probably an extra 3 shots if I just played decently. And that would have been a huge difference. And then third thing, I shouldn't have revealed myself. I was clearly the key player on the team. I had vision control, and I threw it all away. So if I'd played better, certainly we would have won this game. And I think the attitude a lot of people would have is like that their team really screwed them by retreating. But clearly this was a situation where I could have carried. And I think the attitude, like I don't know, I think attitude is really important. I think it'll help you have a much better experience playing. It's like I really live for those moments when like if I play well, I can win, and if I don't play well, I can lose. And pretty much in order for that to happen, your team has to not be playing perfectly. If they play really well, they just carry you. It doesn't matter what you do. So I really live for these kind of games, and unfortunately in this game, I wasn't able to pull it out, so we lost. But I'm going to show you another game that shows I learned from my mistakes. Hello everyone, my name is Forbidian. You actually probably will have already gotten an introduction. This will be part 2 of the same video. So this is the second half. The reason why I'm showing you this replay is it's pretty much the same. I just want to show you the difference between a good deployment and a bad deployment. So in the last game I had a bad deployment where I started out the game with a terrible trade. I was almost dead and put out of the fight for several minutes where I couldn't really do anything to help my team. In this game I'm able to find the correct side of the rock. I remember the right side of the bush had a bush, or the right side of the rock had a bush, and I also take the time to clear a little bit of the foliage out. So I push that tree down to give myself a little bit better line of sight toward the right side. And I'm able to get into the bush and get some cover. So again, is this in times 2 speed? Yeah, it's in times 2 speed. So I don't do anything particularly interesting in this game, but I want to show that if you're in the center of the map, like I'm getting these lights on enemy tanks, clearly I'm the one lighting that IS, and I'm spotted, so I have to go back to safety. I wasn't sure if the IS could spot me. I thought he could not, so I wanted to just stay there and shoot him again. But, you know, always, if you are lit, if Sixth Sense goes off, like, play it safe, go back to cover, return to the same spot even. And then now I know I'm going to get spotted, so I roll back again. There I'm lit, but I'm already safe, so they only had like a second to react, and then they couldn't. Now I'm going to return to the same spot, try to finish off the IS. He actually had moved, so I can't spot him. I'm a little disappointed, but anyway, I should be in times 2 speed. Okay, so I really don't do anything terribly interesting in this fight, but you can see that from that deployment, I'm now a huge thorn in the side of the enemy team. We've got tanks up on this ridge. Now because I'm here spotting for them, they know they're safe. They know they can't get flanked from the center. I'm spotting the IS. Like, we basically wiped out one of their most important tanks instantly at the start of the fight. He did hardly anything. He just drove up here and then he got killed by us. So that's the spotting advantage that I got from having this good location compared to the other game where I was forced back and my whole team had to retreat because they didn't have vision over this area. They weren't confident. They weren't safe. So they retreated into this corner. But because of this, now I've got a lot more control from my team. Well, watching sniping in times 2 speed is a little nauseating because I look around so much. I think I like barely nicked this VK. Yeah, there he is. I really should have been waiting for him. I know. Look how close we are. He would definitely spot me if he had rolled back a little bit. But I know his gun mount is his gun mount is behind the building, so he actually can't spot me. And then I know VK's got paper thin armor along with shot normalization. I know those shots, if they land, they're gonna pen him. Oh yeah, this was kind of interesting. I was deciding what to shoot at on this Tiger P, and Melty's math map mods, something like that. Melty's mod gives you a pretty big advantage. You don't have to memorize armor values because it'll show you. I mean, knowing things about tank's armor really helps, but you don't have to memorize the values. So I can see that his upper front plate will not pen. I have it's a like 200 effective armor. So I noticed that I have there's this tiny weak point gun mount that's 60, but that's not a good shot. Instead what I do is I'm shooting at the cupola, and part of the reason for that, let's see if I can show you. Yeah. Part of the reason for that is I have this huge height advantage. You see I'm up on this ridge and he's down in this valley. So I have a height advantage and he's at an extreme distance. So both of those mean that my shots are going to be arcing into the top of his tank. And I'm familiar with German tanks. I know they have very weak topside armor. It's basically flat to the normal, or it's perpendicular to the ground. So any kind of like arcing shot is gonna pen them. It's paper thin and flat. So any kind of arcing shot is gonna go right in. And first shot hits the mantlet, which clearly won't pen. Second shot, I don't know what that is. Yeah, that is an arcing shot into the top of his tank, and that paper thin armor goes right through. Third shot right into the cupola. I'm getting pretty good rolls on this RNG right now. These are probably 50% shots, or maybe even less, and I've penned 3 of 4, which is pretty good. But again, this is good shot placement. Like you're penning an area where if you miss, you're still gonna get a pen. If I miss high, it's gonna miss. But if I miss low, the arcing shot is gonna pen the top of his turret. And if I miss like left or right, I'll still pen the cupola. And if I miss very far low, I might get lucky, pen maybe the side of his tank, something like that.
That one didn't go through.
So third shot arcs into the mantlet again. So, but again, 3 of 5 was really good. 3 of 5 was really good shooting. So I got some good RNG, but I also knew something about the armor of the enemy tanks and how to position a shot. So even if I miss, even if I get a bad RNG roll, I still have a chance to pen him. So I think I took a good shot. All right, I think the rest is just cleanup. Yeah, my team's up 12 tanks to 4. It's a bit weird because our M44 had a 2 kill. He might have even had 2. I don't know. He's blue right now. Okay, I see the Panther, and I thought he was aiming his turret at me, so I rolled back. I'm still at 570, so I can take 1 shot. I know I'm safe for 1 shot, but I didn't want to take excessive damage. So I rolled back a little bit, and then I noticed the Panther was actually aiming at a different target. So I'm safe to just sit here.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
And shoot the back of the Type 58. Panther gets cleaned out, and then yeah, I guess one last tiny detail. Like, I try to maximize the amount of experience that I get every game. It's just a little thing to do at the end. So if you think your team's going to cap, then you should go cap. If you think your team is not going to cap, then you should go kill. Because if you're in the cap circle, but your team wipes them out by killing, it doesn't give you a bonus experience. And VK's poking his head out. Like, we've got a ton of tanks over here to murder this guy. So guy gets wiped out by artillery. Okay, so my decision to stay in the cap was a little bit incorrect, but I still got the damaging hit in, so it didn't matter. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys got something out of it. Hope you learned something about the importance of a good deployment. I don't know if this is a perfect example, but I wanted to like compare and contrast to the last game, where in the first game I went up there, I got spotted, and I was destabilized. I was forced to retreat, and my team lost a whole lot of map control. And then in the second game, I drove right up to a nice bush. I gave my team vision of a large area. We got a lot of damage in, and we controlled, because of that, we controlled the center of the map, and then that forced our opponents to get into a ball. So, you know, like, the difference between a good deployment and a bad deployment is the difference between your team having terrific positioning and your team being in a tiny ball and useless. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.